everyone. This is Renee Romeo of reneeromeo.com, and you're here today to learn how to polish marble countertops. Now, a lot of us have marble surfaces in our homes that have become etched over time as a result of water droplets or the wrong and inappropriate cleaner that we've used on them, and they've left all of these dull marks all over the surface of our marble. But I'm going to show you how you're going to get that polish back. It's going to be absolutely flawless finish, and I'm going to show you this on a piece that I bought at a consignment store. So this is an old piece. It came out of an apartment building. I absolutely love the style of it, and I'm going to be cleaning everything off, and I'm going to make this piece look exactly like new. So let me show you just how easy this process is. So you're going to need a drill, either electric or cordless like mine, and you're also going to need a set of sanding discs. They're especially made for marble, and it's a set of 10. So what this comes with is not only the sanding disc, but it also comes with these little Velcro pads. So each one of these sanding discs can be applied directly to the pad just like this. They don't move around as they're orbiting through this entire project, so they're really nice and secure. From there, you're going to need a water bottle. Make sure that it's only water, and if you've emptied out a previous water bottle, make sure that all the cleaner is out of it because you don't want to etch it while you're actually working on the project. Now, I also have a utility knife. The utility knife is used to remove any silicone that happens to be in between two pieces of your marble. So your backsplash and your countertop area and underneath your sink if you're removing it. Now, in my case, I needed to remove it because I have a scalloped edge here. There's no way that that sanding disc can get in between each and every scallop nice and evenly. So I've actually removed my sink. Now, if you have a square sink or a round sink, no problem. You can get your sanding disc right up to the edge of it, so you don't need to remove it. But in my case, I did remove that. If you do need to get behind and around your faucet area, the sanding disc is actually able to fit in this space, but you will have to remove your faucet. Now, every faucet is different. You're going to shut off the water supply underneath the cabinet, and you can see the little knobs underneath there. You're going to get underneath your cabinet, and you're going to remove the gasket from underneath it, and that's held on with a nut. So you're going to need a wrench for that. So once that's loosened, you can pull out your faucet just like this. And if you're removing your sink like I did, all you need to do is just loosen up the drain pipe underneath the sink. It's all tightened by hand, so you should be able to do it with your own two hands and get that sink out of there. And this is what the sink looks like from underneath. So this is the part that operates that little pop-up on the faucet. This is what needed to be disconnected. So now that that's all disconnected, I can get this out of the way and start cleaning this up a little bit before I start sanding. So I just want to give you a close-up on these marks that I'm trying to get rid of here. So there was something set here and water got underneath it and etched it. And then there are a bunch of little water spots even going all along the backsplash as well as anywhere around the sink. And you can see, hopefully, let me get a close-up on the other side as well. So there are some marks going on here where there were containers of some sort. So we're going to get rid of all of this mess and make it a beautiful polished surface. So I have gloves, safety glasses, and a face covering. Now, even though we're going to be using some water to keep the dust down, you still have a chance of breathing some dust in, so make sure you put a face mask on before you do this. And I have all of the discs laid out from 50 to 3,000, so this is really going to make it easy. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to line these up so I know exactly the order that I'm doing this in. So we're going from real heavy to real light polishing. So here's the Velcro side. It gets placed right on top of that Velcro disc. Then I can actually insert this rod into my cordless drill, making sure that I loosen it enough. Now, once it's in there, I can tighten it really well. So this is really secure. It's not going anywhere or not being able to be moved during the process. Then I'll spray down the surface. Just again, this is just water. It's just to keep the dust down. Now you could do this inside too. Just make sure that if you've got any surfaces around you, if you're doing this indoors, which you probably are, the most important thing is making sure that you're holding your drill perpendicular to the project. So mine is nice and even. I'm just going to be aware of that as I go through this entire thing. The other thing is making sure that you're setting your drill so it's moving clockwise. It needs to move clockwise, otherwise the disc is going to roll right off. So this is about the time when you're going to start getting nervous, but don't get nervous about this. You really do need to get it down this far in order to be able to get that polish to come back up. So here's a great example of step 1 and step 2. It's getting really nice and smooth at this point. So we're just going to keep going until this entire surface is nice and even. Now as you go along, just remember the drill is doing all the work for you. You are not pressing down on the marble surface, you're just letting this glide along. And I'm overlapping all of my back and forth motions as I go. I'm going side to side and then I'm going front to back as well. The other trick, make sure you have enough water on your surface. So this is after disc 4. We're not even halfway there yet, and I noticed a difference in the sanding. As I was sanding along, it seemed like it was a lot smoother for me to be able to just glide the drill over the top. So it didn't have as much tooth to it. So I'm imagining as I go along, it's just going to get that much easier to get that drill to glide over the top of it and make a nice smooth surface. At this point, we're starting to see some of the gray colors starting to come back through all the etching that we're doing. And now with disc 8, I wanted you to see how very little marble dust you get as you go over the surface. Before, that was completely white when I went over it. So now we're down to our last sanding disc, and you can see that there are still some swirl marks in the marble. We're not worried about that. Right now we're just going to try to get this as even as possible and then finish up indoors. So here's the level of polish that I got out of all those sanding discs. So even though the level of polish is really wonderful as you look at it across the surface, when you look at it straight on, you can see that the color of the gray isn't as vivid as it used to be, and there are also visible swirl marks in here. But we're going to take this inside and we're going to create some magic and really make this look absolutely professional when we're done. Now that the dirty part is done, I brought the cabinet back inside so that I could seal and enhance the marble. Now I'm using this 511 Seal and Enhance product. You can get this on my website, on my shop page, or in the commentary below this video. Very easy to get. And the thing is that it's going to not only make this really vibrant, but it's also going to seal this from future stains and etching areas that I previously covered up. So you really need to get to this point. It's nice and polished, it's got a nice sheen to it. So let's go ahead, grab a foam brush and start sealing and enhancing the marble. This is the real magic and secret here. So we're just going to coat this nice and evenly. This isn't going to add any more shine to the polished surface that we worked on outside. But look at the gorgeous look of this marble. Now, the good thing about this too is that if on the first try you don't get quite the color that you're looking for or the vibrancy, you can coat this up to 3 or 4 times depending on what you prefer, and you can get the exact look that you want out of your countertop as well. Now look at the difference between this side and then I'll move it over to this side. It's quite a dramatic difference, and it makes all the difference in the world to getting a really beautiful professional looking job on your refinished marble. Wow, that's completely amazing. So I'm going to do this another 2 or 3 times. I'll let it dry 2 hours between coats. But in between coats, I'm also putting my foam brush in a little plastic baggie just to keep it nice and fresh for the next application. Now half the sink is wet, the other half is dry, and you can notice that there isn't much difference in the color of the second coat. So it's not going to enhance it as much as the first coat is. So that's just an FYI. I'm getting off any residue that hasn't penetrated into the marble. So This is looking really, really incredible. I think I might stop after 2, but I'm going to let it dry for another 2 hours before I either put it back together or do a very third coat. Everything is put back together at this point. We have a nice, beautiful gloss on top of this marble. Everything is nice and even. There's no etching to be seen or swirl marks for that matter either. But what we want to do is we want to test to make sure that the sealer is actually working. So we're going to take that water bottle that we used during the polishing process, and we're just going to take it and spray it very lightly on the surface. And as you can see here, we've got some nice water beading, and that's exactly what you want to see. You don't want to see the water droplets actually absorbing back into the marble. If you do, then you know you need to seal it again. So make sure that you check this every 3 or 4 months just to make sure that your water is still beading, and you'll have a perfectly beautiful non-etched surface for a long, long time to come. This is Renee Romeo of ReneeRomeo.com. Thank you so much for watching this project and learning exactly how to polish marble surfaces. This is great for anything that you see at a consignment store or yard sale because you can rejuvenate this really easily and inexpensively. So if you know someone that can benefit from watching this video, please share it with them. And as always, please like, subscribe, and follow. And please go to my website, ReneeRomeo.com, where you'll find over 170 video projects just like this that are going to help you around your home too.